What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Chris here from Kalevala South Farm. Well, guys, I know I haven't made a video in a while, and it's because I have been busy, like super busy. Basically working on the Sugarhouse, which we are standing in now. I did a video about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 now, of kind of in progress. I'll put some of that footage in here. You can kind of see where we were at. And yeah, we've been working on it steadily, and we actually got out in the woods today and started working on some of the sugar lines. But Sugarhouse has come a long way. We are mostly done. Getting sheetrock up. Didn't really want to use sheetrock, but you know, everything else is a lot more expensive. So this is where we're at. We've got the cupola done. I've got a piece of insulation up there now. We'll have to take down, obviously, when we're boiling and open the doors. But yeah, got heat, TV for football when I'm down here, because I am a football fanatic. And then it's kind of where we're at. Got all the walls insulated, sheetrock up on some of it. The roof is all insulated. Lighting's done. Most of the electrical's done, other than the 220 stuff. I'm waiting on the hot water heater. That should be here today. And I got to figure out where I want to put the outlet for the RO unit. It's going to be over here somewhere. Probably both of them. That's why I haven't sheetrocked these walls yet. Just because I'm waiting to finish the electrical. We've got the panel in. We ended up opting for an outdoor panel, obviously, for the Sugarhouse, because it's moist in here. The meter box is outside because we're going to have separate service run down here, because during the season we're going to probably use a lot of juice between the vacuum pump, the RO, the hot water heater. It's an instantaneous hot water heater, so it's only going to be used when I'm using the sink. We bought a cheap toolbox at Harbor Freight. Toolbox bench kind of setup. I think will work good for us. Can put hydrometers and stuff in the bottom, and yeah, it's coming right along. It's been a process. I've been honestly working my butt off on it, and I haven't taken the camera along much because it has been very cold, and GoPros don't do good in the cold, unfortunately. So I've been hammered down trying to get it done. As I mentioned previously, I have to have surgery in a few weeks. That's going to knock me down for a couple of weeks. So I'm trying to get as much done now as I can, so we are ready for sugaring season. Hopefully in the next couple of days we're going to start moving all the sugaring stuff in here. I've got it spread all over the farm right now, and this barn, that barn. You know, I've got the evaporator, the front pan, and it's everywhere. So I'd like to get it down here, start getting things together. Hopefully, like I said, the hot water heater should be here today, and yeah, we're gonna keep on keeping on. But I figured I'd give you guys an update on the Sugarhouse. We've come a long way, a long way, and yeah, it's coming right along. It's been a lot of work, but I think it's gonna be great. It feels more like a house than a Sugarhouse, honestly, with the sheetrock and everything else. It's very cozy, I should say. So spending time in here, boiling, is gonna be a nice, pleasant experience versus the old Sugarhouse, which you couldn't, you know, get 2 people in there without, you know, rubbing elbows. So anyway, that's what we've got going on here. And I also got out in the woods, so I'll take you guys out there and show you what I've been working on in the woods. All right, guys, one thing I wanted to show you real quick, I didn't know if you saw it when I was inside, is we actually put a stained glass window in the Sugarhouse up there. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but it's a real pretty stained glass window. I've actually had it for pretty close to 20 years. I took it out of my grandparents' house when they moved, when my grandmother passed and my grandfather moved. They had a beautiful stained glass window I always liked. I took it out and literally haven't known what to do with it for the last 20 years. It's been sitting in storage. So finally found the perfect spot for it. I think it really makes the building, you know, look nice. So I thought I'd show you that real quick, and we'll head out in the woods, and I'll show you what I've been up to. Alrighty, guys, so here we are out in the woods, and we started running some of the new main line. If you remember couple of videos, or a video ago or two, I don't remember, we had a guy from CDL come and kind of help us, you know, reorganize the sugar bush some. So this is one of the things, is we ran this up and around, and then we're going to run another main line up this way. I made a video about that, clearing the brush. We'll probably work on that tomorrow. I might have some help tomorrow. So we'll run some more up that way, and then down in this area here, you see the spool of the pre-lash. This is going to be basically where the collection space is, where the tank and the releaser and all that stuff is. So hopefully, you know, we're probably gonna have to build some kind of a lean-to enclosure or something for that, but we'll get to that hopefully later after we have surgery and we get close to the season. But that's kind of what we've been up to in the woods. I just honestly got back in the woods today. I've really been in the sugar house and working on the sugar house pretty much for the last month and a half, steady every day, just trying to get it done. You know, as you saw, we're good way along, but it's very time consuming. So we're making progress, but it all takes time. So anyway, guys, that's kind of what we've been up to. Here's the outside view of the sugar house with the cupola and all that. You see a bunch of trees here. Actually, I have a tree service coming, hopefully any day now. He's a neighbor of mine. He's great. Nicholas Tree Care. He said around the first of the year, depending on scheduling, because I'm right down the road, so it's easy for him. But he's gonna come remove the ash tree, these two cherries, that soft maple, and these two trees. Kind of get them all out of here. He's just gonna cut them, use his crane to set them up on the hillside up there. And we're gonna cut them up for saw logs and firewood as we see fit, which is great, because that cherry's pretty nice stuff. That'll mill up real nice, and that'll give us some nice stuff to do some laser engraving on. So I'm excited about that. So I'm gonna head in the sugar house and we'll talk cost, because I'm sure everybody's wondering. Alrighty, guys. So we'll talk cost. Just take my coat off because it's actually fairly nice in here. The little pellet stove we bought does a pretty good job keeping it warm in here. Not perfect. The hopper's definitely not big enough. It's a small Cleveland stove, pellet stove that we picked up. It's basically the least expensive pellet stove that I could find, to be quite honest. I think it cost me right around $1,000, so it wasn't cheap, but cheapest pellet stove I could find. So cost wise for the sugar house, as you guys know, we milled most of the materials on the sawmill. So all the beams, all the rafters, all the siding came off the sawmill, other than I actually did have to buy, I think it was six or eight boards from another mill, because I ran out. I didn't have any logs down, and this time of year, milling is when the logs are frozen. It can be difficult. You have got to go real slow. So I had to buy 6 boards. Not bad considering. Now I still have to put the battens on. I haven't done that yet. I basically got the sugar house enclosed, insulated, winterized, like ready to go for the season and for the cold weather. The cold weather kind of snuck up on us here. We got snow back right after Thanksgiving. The temperatures just plummeted, and I mean, it's been 20-degree days a lot of times working. I mean, I had ice in my beard a lot while we were building this. So I tried to get everything enclosed and insulated as quick as I could so I could work in the heat. Now, price-wise, so the foundation with the labor, with everything, the stone, everything else, ran us right around $5,500 for this slab. A little more than I wanted to spend, but I wasn't in a position to do as much as I wanted to myself. I had to bring in outside help, so I had that cost. The doors and windows it was basically $200 a window and about $450 for the 2 insulated doors, and then the garage door. So the garage door I think was $450. So Doors and windows were just over $2,000 in doors and windows. Now, did I have to put doors and window in? I mean, obviously got to have a door. Windows, no. It was just an aesthetic. I wanted light in here. You know, if I'm going to spend time in here, I want to be able to enjoy that. So doors and windows, about $2,000. It was $1,500 for the tin for the roof. It was $300 for the 2x4s, because as I spoke about in a previous video, milling 2x4s is just not time or cost effective when you can buy them so cheap. So I think I bought 100 2x4s. It was like $300, 350, something like that. So all in all, so far with building materials, we're just about 10 to 11 grand. That doesn't include obviously the stove, that was extra. And the insulation, which we ended up kind of changing. We weren't going to insulate the Sugarhouse originally. I was going to do an insulated room for the RO, for the water tanks, all that stuff. But once I started looking at, I mean, the roof was always going to get insulated. That was from day one, we were going to insulate the roof. The walls we weren't going to insulate. So it kind of all changed because of the price of the doors. To have an insulated door to go into the heated closet, I insulated the whole building for like $200 more. So it just made more sense to me to insulate the whole building for $200 more than just buying an insulated door and then changing it later anyway. So that's kind of the quick price breakdown, you know, not including the outfitting, which, you know, the sink, the toolbox, hot water heater, that'll be different, but just the basic structure of the building, we're right around $12,000. Of what we paid in our not including our labor, but you know, a 16 by 24 building like this, it's basically a insulated one-car garage. I think you'd see from a builder, it's gonna cost you a lot more than 12 grand. So, you know, all in all, I think we've done well. It's been a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it. It's gonna be great to boil in here. We're gonna have it, you know, it's a place in the wintertime. If I'm home in the cold, if we got to pull the ridge in here or the lawnmower, we have a place in the warmth that we can actually work on things. You know, our other barn, we have a small shop. You know, here we can actually pull stuff in, not during obviously sugaring season because it'll be filled with wood and other stuff, but it'll be a warm place we can pull stuff in and work on it. So I think all in all, it's going to be really beneficial to the farm, and it's been a lot of work, but I can't wait to boil in here. I'm so excited. So anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end this one here. And like I like to say, if you like these videos, please subscribe, hit the like button, and leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. Just remember, it'll be all right.